Hello everyone. In this video, you will learn about interface in C#. So what is interface? You can define interface as a contract. If you hear a word contract, in real life, what does contract mean? If any person signs contract, he should obey all the rules and regulations described in that contract. In a similar fashion, in programming, interface defines a contract. To whom it defines contract? It defines a contract to the inherited classes and tells that you should implement these members declared in interface. Next, let us see how to implement this interface. For that, go to Solution Explorer. Here, I have created one model folder. In this, I'll add interface. Go to Add Class and select interface. Here you can name your interface. So assume I am going to develop a shopping application. So I'll name my interface as iorder.cs and add this. So this interface I'll give access modifier as public and here I'll add a member. So this order interface is going to declare a method to order products. I am going to declare only a single function in this interface. So what I have done here, I have not defined any body for this method. That means it becomes an abstract method. With C# 8.0, we can define default method. Let's say order book and open curly braces. So this becomes your concrete method. That means default method. You can go ahead and write implementation here itself. We'll define one more interface. Click Add Class Interface. Note here how I am giving interface name. Always the interface name should be prefixed by capital I. So here I denotes interface and following that is your interface name. Click on Add. So your interface is added. Here also I'll make it public. Declare one method here, void add to cart. So what am I doing here? In iCart interface, I am going to add products to cart and in iOrder interface, I am going to order products. So these two interfaces can be inherited to a class. So we need a class which can inherit these two interfaces. I have created one class called product manager which is going to inherit these two interfaces, that is iOrder and iCart. So what is this? Now you can guess. What is the use of interface here? Here we are achieving a concept of multiple inheritance. Single class can inherit methods properties from multiple interfaces. I have created one more class called product. This class is going to have two properties, name and price. As we all know, product is going to have name, price, ID, category. Here I am going to take only that is two properties of product, name and price. So in this product manager, we are going to add items to cart and we are going to get items what we have ordered. For time being, I'll be saving these items into list. To save those items into list, we need to create a list first. So how do we create a list? List of what? List of product. So what we have done here, we are just creating a list. Now we'll take constructor for this product manager. So CTOR 2 tabs will, so this product is equal to new list of products. So here we are getting an error. It is telling product manager does not implement interface member. In interface, if you do not define a body for member, then it becomes abstract method. So it is compulsory that these methods needs to be implemented in the inherited class. Next we will implement these methods. To implement these methods, just hover on this and click on show potential fixes and give implement interface. So interface will be implemented, but here it is throwing an exception. So we'll delete this exception and write our logic here. So first we will implement add to cart interface. So click here, implement interface. Here I'll delete this exception and we'll implement our logic. To this add to cart method, I'll pass parameter. Instead of passing parameters as name and price, I'll directly pass object here, product of product. Object reference is product. Here we will just add products dot make use of add method in list. Add what we have to add, product we have to add. So give product and this method is just going to add product to the list make p as small. This add method added the product to cart. Now I'll just return a string, return product dot name added to cart successfully. So here as I'm returning a string, I should mention here as well string. So I'll just go to iCart interface. Here also we'll change it to string, add to cart, and we'll pass parameters as product of product. So with C# 8.0, you can also use access modifiers, which was not possible in the earlier version. And we'll implement book order as well. So this book order, as I said, it is going to display list of items we have ordered. I'll take out this void now and I'll make list of product, and in this implementation I will just return product. I order interface. Here we have mentioned void. So instead of void, we need to use list of product. We are inheriting two interfaces to product manager class, which is going to manage orders added to cart as well as product ordered. So we have implemented these interface members in this product manager class. Now it's time to create object and call these methods. So let's go to program.cs. In program.cs, first we'll create an object for product manager and we'll create an object for product class from which we are taking name and price. So we have created an object. We'll pass name. So name is equal to, let us say, LG TV, and I'll pass one more value, that is price. Price is equal to, let us say, 80,000. What we have done here, we have created a new object for product class and then I am passing values to the properties. Now we have to add this to our list. So how do we add that to list? I'll take one more variable, cart status equals to, now make use of your object, that is product manager dot add to cart function, and pass parameter as product, and we'll print this to console cart status. Now we'll try to add another item. So add second item to list. So how do we add that? Just make use of reference of product, that is object product is equal to new product, and I'll add name is equal to Samsung mobile, comma price is equal to, let us say, 45,000. So you need to repeat the same thing. Cart status equals product manager dot add to cart. This also will print to console. So we have added these two products to the cart by making use of add to cart method. Now we will get our order details. So assume user has ordered these two items. So we'll take one more variable, order details equals product manager dot call the function, that is book order. We'll print this to console ordered details. Now how can I access these list items? So here comes for each loop. For each where product object in order details. So we'll print it to the console, product object dot name, and I'll give tab space here, product object dot price. By making use of for each loop, I'm traversing through this list and printing. Let's run this code. So first we have to get items added to cart successfully. We are getting LG and Samsung are added to cart successfully. Next we are getting order details, LG TV 8000 and Samsung mobile phone with respective price. So from this we can tell that interfaces are used for multiple inherit. Now we know what is interface and how to implement this interface. Next we'll see what are the advantages of this interface. Interfaces are mainly used to achieve the concept of multiple inheritance in C#, and also interfaces acts like a plug and play architecture in our application. Whenever we want some contract on behavior or function, we can go for interface, and using interfaces makes our code or code base more scalable. Reusability of code is achieved. Assume after some days you get a new requirement. So how will you fulfill that? Either you have to extend this interface or you can implement the method in the inherited class. But both seems to be tedious. This is where default methods in C# come to rescue. That means from C# 8.0 you can define default method in interface itself. Already we have an interface IOrder. In this IOrder we'll define a default method. So I'll name that method as default method itself, print I am default method. This is just for your understanding. So according to the requirement, you can write logic here. Inside this main program, I'll create an instance of the interface using inherited class. So order is equal to new product manager. Using this reference, we'll call the function. Here itself in IntelliSense you can see it is giving us default method option. So call this default method and let's see what happens. So we have to give here semicolon or else it gives error. Run this. So it is printing default method. That means default methods need not be implemented inside the inherited class. Suppose I want to change the implementation of this method inside the inherited class. Can we do that? Let's check that. So here public void default method. So here we'll just override the method defined in the interface. I'll just print I am implemented in the inherited class. So now let's go to this program.cs. We are not getting any errors. Let's run this and check what output we'll get. You can observe we are getting I am implemented in the inherited class. So what does that mean? That means by making use of default method, classes are free to override the method. This feature is available from C# 8.0 version, and also we have some other important changes in C# 8.0. That is, we can mention the access modifiers. So before 8.0, this was not provided. By default, interface was public and methods were abstract, but with the new version of C# 8.0, we can declare them as public, private, even we can make static members, and also there was no feature of adding fields to the interface in the earlier version, but with C# 8.0, we can even add fields, constructors to this interface. There are two ways how you implement this interface. So whatever we have implemented in today's session, it is called implicit interface, and there is one more method called explicit implementation, which we will be seeing in our upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.